Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be doing a versus video between the Kyrie 6 and the Kyrie 5. So let's see if they made any improvements on the 6, from the 5. The 5 was a very good performer, and then the 6 also is a very good performer. If you guys want to check out the review, I have it on my channel. And if you guys want to get either of these shoes, I'll leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the traction. So as far as the traction goes, the pattern is somewhat similar. Like here in the forefoot, you have a little bit of an eye pattern with like very long lines, So both of them, you need to break it in. When you first get it, you're not gonna get a good bite, or I didn't. And I don't know if it was just my courts being dirty or anything when I first got it, but like once I started to break it in, like couple days to maybe even a week, it takes a really long time, especially for the 5 to break in. Then it gets really good. So if you're not getting good traction, just be patient with it a little bit. But on the clean court, both of these have a really good stop. I'll give it a tie. You stop on a dime. You have the alto curvature, which it keeps you on your toes, keeps you on the balls of your feet. Feels incredible. You have the rubber coming up here on the medial side, so you get extra grip. So alto curvature is really nice in both of these shoes. On a dusty court, the Kyrie 6 wasn't very good for me. And it was on both of these colorways. It picked up dust really fast, and then it wasn't the easiest wipe on both of the shoes. But obviously once I did wipe, it was a good stop. But like, I don't really like wiping. I like a shoe like the PG3 or like the Harden Volume 3 where I never have to wipe. So the Kyrie 6, not very good on dust. The Kyrie 5, also not very good on dust, but depending on the colorway. Like my taco colorway, it just never broke in. It just never got good, especially on dust. I'm just sliding around in the shoe. But like with my Nike ID and like my Black Magic colorway, the traction on dust is actually really nice. It does pick up dust a little bit, but I feel like the wipe is a lot easier than the 6, and also it doesn't pick it up as much. So it all depends on what colorway you get, unfortunately. But for me, I would say the Kyrie 5 is a little bit better on dust. Durability, I would say is around the same. It's like the long little line nub things, and it's soft rubber, and it's easily moved, and it doesn't seem like it's very durable. And on both of the shoes, I do have fraying, and some of the lines are like ripping off. So durability, not the best. So because of the dust situation, I would say the Kyrie 5 is a little bit better. But obviously, if you're playing on a clean court, they're both really good. Moving on to the heel-to-toe transition, they're both of the shoes have a nice little curve shape here in the heel, and then in the forefoot a nice curve shape as well. So you have a nice little rocking motion from heel to toe, and both of them aren't the easiest to flex here in the forefoot. But like there's a really just pronounced curve upward here in the forefoot that I don't really mind that too much, So heel to toe transition, both of them is really nice. Of course, I would prefer a little bit more heel compression, because I like to have that really smooth, soft compression in the heel, and then this rocking motion from heel to toe. But that's just my opinion. They're both still really good, All right, moving on to the cushion. I would say the Kyrie 6 is a little bit of an improvement, A few things that did change in the Kyrie 6 is I feel like the foam is a little bit softer, and the court feel is a little bit better. Nike released in the tech specs for the Kyrie 6 that it is 5 millimeters lower for the cushion here in the Kyrie 6. So court feel feels a little bit better. It's a little bit hard to feel if you're just like, if you play it from in the Kyrie 5 and you go to the Kyrie 6, it's a little bit harder to feel. But like, of course, I did play the Kyrie 6 on one foot and the Kyrie 5 on the other foot, and I did notice a difference there. And then the impact protection feels a little bit better in the Kyrie 6 as well because of the softer cushion here in the heel. Of course, they both have the exact same Zoom turbo units in the forefoot, which feels nice. I had to break it in for a couple of days to actually feel it. Some of you guys said you guys didn't really need to break it in. I know I'm light, so most of the time I do have to break in the cushion. But yeah, they both feel pretty much the same. Very nice, pretty bouncy. Yeah, as far as the cushion goes, feels really similar. But the Kyrie 6, the heel cushion is a little bit softer and feels a little bit lower to the ground. So the Kyrie 6 in my book is a little bit better. Alright, as far as the material goes, so in the Kyrie 5 you have an EM, and when you first get it, it's actually really stiff and a little bit flimsy feeling, But once you break it in, it gets pretty soft. The Kyrie 6 feels a lot softer, and right now, feeling it, both of them are broken in, and the Kyrie 6 feels a little bit softer. As far as thickness goes, they're on the same, pretty thin here in the forefoot and no stretch at all. So support is actually really good. The fuse is a little bit different. The Kyrie 6 has rubber coming up here on the medial side for, I guess, extra added durability. The Kyrie 5 just has a regular fuse. And then here in the midfoot area, the Kyrie 5, you have this fly trap strap, which was kind of a gimmick, but it did kind of work because the fly wire here on the side, I could actually kind of feel that tightening on my foot. This midfoot strap really doesn't do anything on the Kyrie 6, and it just makes tightening up the shoe, lacing it up and all that really annoying, and it messes up your laces, So not a huge fan of this strap on the Kyrie 6. And then here in the ankle area, I guess on the Kyrie 5 it's just all EM. The Kyrie 6 you have leather, and on some other colorways you have this like plastic material. I'm a little bit more of a fan of like just keeping it all EM. I'm not a huge fan of like leather because it adds weight to the shoe, So as far as materials go, I do like the EM in the Kyrie 5, especially like here in the ankle area, but the Kyrie 6, the ballistic mesh here in the toe just feels a little bit more premium than the Kyrie 5, So, but on foot, they're both pretty much the same, they get soft, they get the job done, very supportive and all that. But one thing that is a little bit different though, even though the Kyrie 5 compared to normal shoes have a good amount of padding, the Kyrie 6 has probably around twice the amount of padding here in the ankle area. There's a lot of padding in the 6, and it actually feels really comfortable in the ankle area, even though it does increase like the weight, and I guess like it feels a little bit bulkier. But that feels really comfortable. So I guess for performance on foot, in the toe area, it's pretty much the same, but the ankle area feels a little bit better in the Kyrie 6 if you want it to be a little bit more, plush and comfortable, As far as fit goes, pretty much the same. I would say the Kyrie 6 fits a little bit tighter here in the toe area, even though the Kyrie 5 still is really tight. And width-wise, pretty damn narrow. I went true to size, and length-wise, it was good for me. But if you don't like to have a really tight fit here in the forefoot area, I would suggest going up half a size, or probably just like staying away from the shoe, And both of these materials do stretch out, especially here in the toe area. So if it is a little bit tight for you at first, don't worry about it. It's going to stretch out just a little bit, and the fit will probably get a little bit roomier for you. As far as support and lockdown goes, it's a Kyrie. You guys already know. Lateral containment is going to be incredible. I had no issues with that. And also for ankle protection and ankle support, I would say the Kyrie 5 is a little bit better, The Kyrie 6, this material is a little bit flimsier, It moves a little bit more. The Kyrie 5 is a little bit stiffer, So I felt a little bit more ankle protection in the Kyrie 5. Alright, moving on to the weight. So the Kyrie 5 is 13.19 ounces, and the Kyrie 6 is 14 ounces even. So I guess it's like, 0.9, 0.8 ounces lighter for the Kyrie 5, and it definitely feels a little bit lighter. It feels a little bit lighter and a little bit less bulky in the Kyrie 5. I feel like this strap and also this all this padding here, and also this really crazy plastic heel counter here in the heel makes the shoe feel a little bit heavier. I think it's just a little too much, like you don't really need all of this. Why don't you just strip it down a little bit and decrease the weight? But I guess Kyrie doesn't really care about that, and I heard that he just really likes to have a lot of foam here in the ankle area, foam padding. So, but they're both really responsive. Traction is good on a clean court, good fit, good support, and all that. So you feel really quick when you're playing it, but it's just not the most minimal feeling shoe, So moving on to the step and comfort, I would say the Kyrie 6 feels a little bit more comfortable just for casual use, There is a little bit more padding here in the ankle area, and there's a little bit more compression here in the heel for the cushion. So it's just slightly more comfortable just casually walking around. As far as the aesthetics goes, I would say the Kyrie 5 looks a little bit better for me. The Kyrie 6, not a huge fan of. But that's just my opinion. Tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. As far as the ventilation goes, they're both on the hotter side, but the Kyrie 6, I would say, is a little bit hotter, with all this padding, and there's not a lot of ventilation and airflow going through the actual upper, so it's pretty hot. Alright, so wrapping things up, they're both the same price. When they first came out, they were both 130 bucks. Obviously the Kyrie 5 is going on sale because it is an older model. But what performs better? I would say it's pretty much the same. The Kyrie 6, it feels like they made a few improvements, especially like in the cushion. The cushion feels a little bit better. And as far as quality goes, in the toe area, the ballistic mesh feels just a little bit nicer. You have pretty nice leather here in the ankle area and stuff like that. But the Kyrie 5 is just lighter, a little bit more minimal. And the traction is a little bit better on dust for me. You know, so there are some things I like about the Kyrie 6 a little bit more than the 5, but also there are some things I like about the Kyrie 5 more than I do the Kyrie 6. So look at each category and take into consideration, you know, what's important to you or which category is important to you, and choose the shoe accordingly. But for me, I would pretty much tie it up. So that's the versus video. If you guys want to cop either of these shoes, I'll leave links below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.